About a month ago, Nintendo revealed another trailer for the Splatoon 3 DLC, Side Order, and I could not be more excited. Look at all the things they showed off. I'm going to try and keep my thoughts structured to how the video shows things, but I literally cannot contain my excitement right now, so apologies if I start going all over the place. So the first thing we see is the same thing from the first trailer of Agent 8 standing in a whited out Galapagos Square. But now we have a few new things here already. It's a little Pearl drone. The design of the drone is absolutely amazing. It has the ability to move its eyebrows to express emotion, and even has the beauty mark that Pearl has. There have been a few theories that Pearl is actually the drone, like she was transformed into the drone, but I think she's controlling it, which then goes into other fan theories that people think she's in squid form in the drone piloting it, but I really think she's just somewhere else with an iPad and she's controlling the drone. There's a bunch of different theories, and one of them seems to be backed up by official Nintendo Twitter accounts, but we'll get to that later. We then cut to Agent 8 gliding into a level, grabbing onto the Pearl drone. There's also these creation thingies. They seem to be getting material from somewhere and are making different things. Here we can see a plushie as well as something that looks like a mem cake. There are other things as well, but they are hard to make out or are just things we've never seen. We then see this black orb made out of goo and new enemies spawn from it. I'm so excited for these new enemies and I love their skeletal fish design. I want to see more of them. They look stupid fun. The video then cuts to 8 walking in front of this cyber wall and we get to see a close-up of the new dualies that just appear. I'm not sure what this cyber wall could be, but we do see it again in the trailer. It then shows actual gameplay. 8 flies down and just throws away the Pearl drone. 8 then shoots at the skeletal fish, and there's numbers! It actually shows how much damage you're doing to these enemies, which is definitely different than what we've seen in Splatoon before. The fish also seem to spawn from the black orb, and I think destroying that orb will be a level objective, and I'll talk about that later as well. We get to see more Pearl drone, love it. There's quick cuts to things I really don't have an explanation for, but they look cool. Then we finally get to see the elevator from the concept art, and it just reminds me of this piece specifically of this Octoling looking at it. The doors then open, and it's Deadfish. For those who don't know, Deadfish is the musician for most of the music and Splatoon 2's DLC, Octo Expansion. There were also theories that she made some of the music for the Splatoon 3 Hero Mode, and I think they're true. I don't know, I haven't followed on that one. After Pearl Drone threatens to kill her, she introduces herself as Oct. Now, there are different pronunciations that people are doing. People are doing it the phonetical way, which is just reading it as act, which is because it's spelled A-C-H-T, act, but I'm seeing also a lot of people pronounce it as Oct. So I'm gonna go with Oct. I'm not sure which way is the correct way until someone says it, but it's Splatoon, so they're just gonna go woo me, and then that's gonna be it. Oct then tells Agent 8 and Pearl that her and Marina go way back. Oct then introduces Pearl and 8 to the palette and the color chip, which seemingly gives 8 and Pearl drone better stats and abilities. It also seems to be the gimmick of this DLC, and I will go more in depth in it, I promise. We then get to see how a level is chosen. You get 3 options of easy, medium, and hard. And right here we can see the black orb, the zones icon, and some sort of blender looking thing. You get the color chip when you pick the level. I honestly thought you would get it after. Obviously the harder level, the better the reward. We then get to see some more gameplay, and there's a lot I would like to say about the Pearl drone. Pearl drone is going to be the most useful partner ever. During these gameplay cuts, we see her be a sprinkler, throw a splat bomb, use a killer whale, and maybe even throw those tri-strikes. We also see a Marina can, which is just kind of there. And that's really the only instance of Marina that there is in this entire trailer besides Oct referencing her. Agent 8 also is shooting at the black orb, destroying it, which is probably that one level objective, staying alive from the horde of enemies and destroying the orb. We also see 8 near those tech walls again. Still have no idea what they are. The gameplay montage then ends with 8 spawning in with these holographic designs around her, which I believe to be a visual representation of her upgrades from the color chips. It then fades to black as we get a little jingle, and then 8 and Pearl drone are walking towards this GLaDOS looking thing from Portal. This is most likely the first boss of the DLC, and I actually believe it's a returning boss, and I'll get to that later. I've been saying that a lot, but I will get things later. I'm collecting my thoughts. The video then changes again to show the title of the DLC in a new font and with these cracks of black in a gray void. There is a lot to cover in this video, and we are about to enter theory territory here. but let me just say how much of a fool we all were for making very bold theories from early concept art. Like, all the stuff they showed us before was very cool, but looking at this new trailer, it is obvious it was early concept art, which means some of it might not even make an appearance in the game. Like this image of a bunch of Agent 8. Did this mean anything, or was it just a cool concept art? Probably just a cool concept art, which kind of throws all the cloning theories just out the window. Moving on, there's a noise that plays when the title appears, and it is almost like laughing. And I know Splatoon, they love to tease something at the end of the trailer with a noise. I feel like I've heard it before, but I also can't connect it to anything. I'll play the clip so you can hear what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. There's also the jingle that plays slightly before it. Again, I feel like I've heard it before, but I have no clue. I have been listening to it for days. Have a listen. What is this? I must know. I feel like it's a leitmotif or something from some other song. I think it's like maybe an Off the Hook song or a jingle from them. I have no idea. It could literally just be something new, but I'm going insane. So this video has been taking a couple days to make. That's a lie. It's actually been a month since this direct has aired, and I'm just very bad at, doing things in general by myself. It's actually taken so long that the Splatoon Twitters have been posting more information about Side Order. Now, I don't fully trust Splatoon North America, mostly because they get a lot of stuff wrong a lot of the time, and Google Translate on the Japanese Twitter account isn't too great either. Nintendo of Europe, though, they seem pretty trustworthy, so I'll be looking at what they have to say instead. This first thing that throws me for a loop is this section on the Pearl drone. They talk about the drone as if it's physically what Pearl is. There were fan theories, as I said earlier, that she's in her squid form and piling in it, but this makes it sound like she is the drone, which would definitely be interesting, but why is she a drone physically? Are we in some kind of simulation? With all these tech doors and the weird techie themes, it could be possible. Then they talk about the new enemies. Are they life forms or machines? Whatever they are, they seem to be gearing up for something. I do think that they are robots just made by someone, not really sure by someone. The last thing they post about is about Deadfish. The artist formerly known as Deadfish used to perform underground. Now going by the name of Oct, they might know a thing or two about the Spire of Order that would help Agent 8. It is uncertain as to why they are here in Side Order, but I hope they actually do something and aren't just there, because they could just stay in the elevator the entire time and not actually do anything for the story, which would be boring. And that's the end of what they posted on Twitter. Also, I have a Twitter where I say words, so go look at it if you're interested in the words that I say on Twitter. Now, as far as the returning boss I mentioned way earlier, I think it looks a lot like the toaster boss from Splatoon 2. It's really just the faces and these little laser things. You can also see a torpedo icon, so either that throws torpedoes at you or you have to throw a torpedo at it. It would be fun if it was the toaster boss again, but I hope they're all new bosses. Now, as for theories, I'm uncertain if anything I previously said is true anymore, because the concept art was so early. I still think the cloning theme will be involved, but it's not shown off at all in this trailer. The only suspicious thing is Marina only being mentioned by Oct and not being in the trailer. We also see that Marina can. It could mean that she's helping out, or that's a collectible that she's left behind. It's uncertain, and it could be either, which would be interesting. A lot of people think Marina's going to be the new villain. I'm not fully behind that theory. I don't really like it. And then some people think it's going to be a person that we've already known. Like, I theorized it was going to be Little Judd or a recreation of Tartar in some form, but I'm not really fully behind that anymore. I think it'll be fun if there was just a new villain, because Octo Expansion had a brand new villain in the form of Tartar, and he was very interesting and fun, and technically a twist villain. So I think this DLC could benefit from a new villain just altogether, but I also wouldn't mind if it was a returning character that we haven't seen before. I think it would be funny if it was another band member from one of the Splatoon bands. But then there was also a theory I saw that it could be the crab guy with the bleached claw from the scrolls from the hero mode, but I genuinely cannot remember his name off the top of my head. So, whoops, but people think it's him just because he's like a scientist and has a bleached claw and he made the lobby. I know I'm all over the place, but the gameplay seems very roguelike, which you've probably heard everyone and their mother say. The levels change every floor, and they seem to be randomly generated, as well as the color chips that you get. So the levels and your build can be different every playthrough, which is the ultimate replayability. I personally like how you can upgrade the Pearl Drone. She's going to be a fantastic little helper, especially that sprinkler. I'm just overall ridiculously excited for this DLC, and I need it now. It is slated to release in spring 2024, so they have plenty of time to update and test the DLC to make it stupid good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll most likely talk about Side Order again when we get more information, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the next time I upload about Side Order, or upload in general, because at this point, it's whenever I feel like it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!